Hello everyone, welcome to Best of Us Investors. We as a tribe are gathering in Discord server, where we share Carrie's portfolio, Carrie's buy and sells in real time, and we have live discussions every Mondays before the market opens and right after the market closes on Fridays in our voice channels in Discord server. And of course, we share insights on stocks before the videos are released. The stock analysis team also analyzes stocks based on the votes from the tribe members. So hope to see you all in the Discord, where the link is listed in the description to join. We would also appreciate if you can subscribe and hit the like button, which will help our stock analysis videos. Now let's get started with our stock for this week. Today we'll be talking about HIVE blockchain technologies, or ticker symbol HIVE. So HIVE is a cryptocurrency mining company in Canada, Sweden, and Iceland, mainly mining Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ethereum Classic, and also holds these digital assets, giving shareholders exposure to both mining and the actual cryptocurrencies. So HIVE mainly focuses on mining Ethereum, where approximately 70% of their assets are Ethereum, as you can see on this slide. Due to the cold climate, these locations operate with low electricity cost and fast internet connections, using 100% green and renewable energies. As you can see here, they have Bitcoin mining facilities in Canada, Quebec, Ethereum mining facilities in Sweden and Iceland. They also have joined NVIDIA's partner network, which I think is important since GPUs are required for cryptocurrency mining. So what is mining? Mining is a process where a miner solves an algorithm in order to validate a transaction on the network. And for adding this new transaction on the blockchain, they are rewarded with a digital currency for their contribution to the network. So in other words, they are getting paid for their contribution on adding a new transaction to the block and maintaining the network. Until now, Ethereum validation was through proof of work, like Bitcoin, where miners provide computing power and work to solve the algorithm to add a new block on the network. However, with Ethereum 2.0, they are planning to go with proof of stake, where it is an alternative to proof of work, verifying transactions. And instead of using computing power to solve the algorithm and add a block, you will now need to hold a certain amount of Ethereum to verify the transaction, which makes it much more energy efficient and also more safe regarding security, since you don't need to build up big mining pools anymore. The more Ethereum coins the company holds, the easier it will be for them to verify transactions in the proof of stake system, which will definitely give HIVE an advantage since they are focusing on Ethereum mining. HIVE has a pretty healthy balance sheet where, as I mentioned, approximately 70% is Ethereum and the remaining 30% is Bitcoin. And in 2020, the total assets were approximately $3 million, whereas this year it is now worth around 60 million, which is a 20x in a year. HIVE does have a number of competitor mining companies such as Bit Digital, Hut 8 Mining Corporation, Bitfarms, Marathon Digital Holding, Ride Blockchain, and CleanSpark, which does make sense since the cryptocurrency sector is just started, in my opinion. We don't know who the winner will be in the future, but I personally think that there will be room for several mining companies to survive. If you look at the entire market size of cryptocurrencies, it's only 2.5 trillion as of today. Some people might think the sector has grown so much, where we see Bitcoin prices going over 60K and Ethereum going toward 4,000. But if you think about it, Apple's market cap itself is around 2.3 trillion. So the entire cryptocurrency market size is almost equal to that of Apple. So in other words, the entire crypto market is worth only one company. So there's definitely a ton of space for this sector to grow, in my opinion. And crypto mining will be crucial since mining is the way new coins or digital assets are revealed to the real world. HIVE has a market cap of around $1 billion with a little bit more depth in cash. And if you look at the ownerships, the majority are from public shares, which I usually don't like to see in companies that I invest in. One thing I want any investor that's investing in crypto related companies, whether it's a mining company or a company that bought Bitcoin in their asset portfolio to be aware of is that the value will follow the move of Bitcoin, which is very, very volatile. Right now, since the price of Bitcoin is shooting up, getting over 60K, many people can get really, really excited. And this can cause FOMO, fear of missing out. But please remember that in 2018, Bitcoin's price crashed from 19,000 all the way down to 3,000, which is a crash of around 80 to 85%. So if this happens again, Bitcoin can go from 60K all the way down to 10K. So make sure that you can be comfortable with these types of crashes if you believe in cryptocurrencies and crypto related companies for the long term.
Today, we're going to talk about HIVE Blockchain Technologies, a mining company for Ethereum and for Bitcoin. Let's take a look a little bit at HIVE. We'll go through the financials, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about how I get into crypto, into my retirement accounts without buying crypto, but through companies like HIVE. So let's start with the consolidated statement of income, comprehensive income. You can get this from their website. It's all financial reporting. Revenue for the 3 months posted ending June 30th, 2020 was 37.2 million, up from the prior year over year of June was 6.5 million. Gain, you can see that they sold some digital currencies, and the reason they're selling is because they're expanding. They're buying up, as Drew said, companies and expanding in Iceland and Norway and in Canada. They're setting up a new data center in New Brunswick, so they're using some of the money to go there. You go down to the expenses, you can see that they're ramping up on general administrative expenses as they expand. Share-based compensation has gone up significantly, as you can see. That's all detailed within their filings that you can go on their website and the SEC and find. But net income at the end of the period was 18.5 million as opposed to 1.7 million. So they are growing the revenues and their nets. Income per share is 5 cents per share. So that's better than it was before, which was 0. You can also see that the number of common shares outstanding is increasing as they utilize offerings to fund their operation. You can see that from 2020 to 2021, they've increased from 376 million, 395 million, mostly through stock options of an additional 13.2 million and a convertible loan of 5.8 million. Okay, so let's look at the balance sheet here, and you can see the cash position has gone down a little bit from March 31st, and a lot of that you'll see is they're expanding their operations and using cash to expand their operations. You can see also that their digital currencies have expanded to 82 million from 7.4 million. So they're mining more now and they're holding more what they've mined. So if we go and look at that 82 million, Ethereum represents 63 million in June of 2021, whereas in March of 2021, it was 38 million worth of Ethereum. They've also mined some Ethereum Classic for $93,000. And then their Bitcoin is at 19 million for a total of 82.15 million digital currency on their balance sheet. So as we go down the asset or the balance sheet, you can see the current assets is 126.6 million as opposed to current liabilities of 9.5 million. So they have plenty of cash to pay their short-term obligations. So the balance sheet is pretty solid for the small little company. So let's look at the cash flow statement. You can see from 2021, $18.5 million income for the period of the 3-month period. As we go down through, you can see cash provided by operating activities is 5.4 million, where it was only 516,000 from the quarter before. So a lot more cash from the operations. When you go to cash used in investing activities, this is where you can see they're spending to put down deposits on equipment of 13 million. You can see purchasing of mining equipment, 11.2 million, and sales of subsidiary, 237,000. So cash from investing activities, they spent $25 million. And then from financing activities, this is where they brought in a majority of their money. Also, they exercised options, they had a share offering of 7.2 million. They repaid some debt, and then they have lease payments that they paid. So 6.2 million came from financing activities. So cash at the end of the period was $26.9 million for their cash flow. So you can see they're getting a little bit stronger, but as the value of the assets, which is the Bitcoin and Ethereum, go up, the value of the company goes up. So it's correlated activity. So if we go to my financial summary sheet and how I rate companies, revenue is growing, so it's a positive plus for me. Operating income is growing, so that's a positive. Net is positive and growing, positive for me. Per share earnings is growing, 5 cents per share. Outstanding shares are growing. Most of this is through options, warrants, and convertible loans that are growing their share base, so always a negative for me. Current assets above liabilities, which is a positive. Stock-based compensation is increasing, so I don't like that, basically. The liquidity, as we companies we talked about, most of the cash is from financing activity, but they also have cash from operating activities also. I didn't give it a positive or negative, but I gave it kind of a neutral because of that. When we look at the technicals, they've changed a lot since crypto and Bitcoin had gone up so much on the last Friday. So the technicals have actually changed where the price was at the time of this filming is $3.13, up 24 cents or 8.3%. So now RSI is at 56.78. Your MACD is at 0.02 and rising, and your SMAs, you're priced above the 950 and the 200-day SMA. So you can see how fast these equities can rise and fall. So your technical trader, you got to stay on top of it because it moves really quick. Again, if you look at the miners, there's several of them out there. I personally own HIVE. It is probably number 3 on my list of miners. There's other miners out there: Marathon, Riot, Hut 8, Bitfarms, Argo, CleanSpark, and they all have a lot of Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Like Marathon has 66, almost 6,700 Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Riot has 2,600. Hut 8 has 4,200. HIVE again is 946. Bitfarms 2,000. They expect to be growing those as they go forward. So if you look at what HIVE does about a maximum capacity of 225 Bitcoin per month, which is about 7.25 a day. And they also do about 2,600 Ethereum a month. So at today's prices of, let's say, 61,000, they're bringing in about $13.7 million of Bitcoin a month and adding another 9.7 million of Ethereum a month, for 23.4 million for the month. And yearly, that would be about 280.8 million at current prices. But as Drew said, these prices can go up and these prices can go down. If this goes to 100,000 in Bitcoin, you can imagine what it might do for the price of these miners. To kind of get a comparison, CleanSpark does 27 Bitcoin a day as opposed to 7.25 for HIVE. HUT does about 10.5 Bitcoin per day compared to 7.25 for HIVE. So, there's different rates of what these miners are mining, and there's different rates on what they're storing. So a lot of these miners are storing their Bitcoin and their Ethereum and not selling them on the market. So the value of the company is really going to be based on how much of the crypto that they store. There are other ways you can get into crypto also without buying it directly. And one of the ways is, of course, the GBTC Grayscale. And they currently have 654,000 Bitcoins, and right behind them is MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor, and he has about 114,000 or 115,000 Bitcoin and buying more. So watching some other experts on this, and I'll give a little credit to Invest News, James at Invest News. He did a whole series on both miners and other ways to play crypto. He basically said if you want one Bitcoin, you could buy 85.4 shares of MicroStrategy. It would cost you at today's prices $64,000 for MicroStrategy. Or if you went to Grayscale, you could buy 1,057 shares for $50,159 at the time. So there are other ways that you can obtain Bitcoin in crypto through other companies: Voyager, Galaxy, Argo, Bitfarms, Hut, Mara, Bit Digital, CleanSpark. Take a look at them all, and if you're interested, and do your due diligence, and there's plenty of information out there to get into this if you want. Myself, I do have some HIVE. My 2 top ones would be CleanSpark and Hut 8 at this moment. So again, do your own due diligence. Don't do what people on YouTube tell you. Get some ideas from them. Go out and check it out yourself if you're going to get into these highly volatile, highly speculative mining stocks or related to crypto. Be prepared to have a wild ride. But at some point it could go up, some point it could go down. But in the end, we're here to make money. So good luck with Bitcoin and good luck with miners.